I am going to call to order the Town of Andover Board of Selectmen special meeting Friday, October 24th at 12:04. And our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. This special meeting has been, we called this to sit there and get an understanding of the community center and staffing issues. So first, item 2 is public speak. So, Julia, how would you like to start?
Julia, are you getting coffee?
Busy getting coffee? No?
Good.
You want to?
Well, I've been a regular here since it opened. I don't attend all the events because they're not all to my personal interest. But I do enjoy immensely the ones that have been my favorites. One of which is chair yoga. And the others, I've done some of the craft ones too. Before the senior center opened, I kind of had no hope it was ever going to happen. So I had been going regularly to Bolton and Vernon. Vernon is 25 years old. They built their senior center when it ran around the first time to be voted on, got totally voted down here. Back when Gene Gasper was involved and other people with names you remember were still alive. And so I decided that now I really was a senior. And so I was going to go to these other towns. For $15, you get a lifetime membership. And they do fantastic variety of things, many of which are now on the roster here, which is nice. I went to a chair yoga class for 2 or 3 years in Bolton. And I was going to, half the time I go to Bolton, the other half I go to Vernon. Vernon had speakers. They were both quite a bit, the physical plant was a lot bigger than this. So they had an auditorium. And they had people come and talk to seniors about how to save money on their electric bill. They'd have authors come with the books they've written about some adventure in their lives or their families' lives. And they would talk about the book, and you could buy it if you wanted to. There was a nice variety of events. They used their auditorium like we use this room, and they'd have performers come that would sing, and he'd just have a song fest. It was very, very enjoyable. So I just kept going. But I was delighted when this facility got up and running, and I keep saying, well, I should go back to Bolton for 1 or 2 things, you know. But I never get there, because this keeps growing in the ability to pull me here. And then why not? It's my hometown, and the activities and the variety that's offered. The speakers have been very good. And I love the chair yoga class. That's one of my favorites. Talina and I come twice a week. Once to chair yoga and the other to strong and steady. And another interesting aspect of this that I learned fairly recently, I have United Healthcare for my insurance. And they give me credit for coming to chair yoga and any kind of exercise class at my age. And not only that, they see a value in the social interaction. And there's another benefit to getting that you can get from them from just attending events at a senior center. And they put it out as on a regular basis. And I do that. So I qualify for 2 little.
That means you can donate more to the senior center. That's perfect. Julia, thank you for your contribution. I appreciate it. All right.
Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question.
Well, who's,
Is that okay? Is that okay for me to ask?
well, I'm trying to do public speak, so I'm trying to go this way. She was just up first.
Right.
Julia, you good?
I'll ask you later.
It's just public speak, Julia.
Okay, you can ask me that later.
You can talk her out.
I think that
Joe,
probably does it.
I'm all set.
you're all good? Bill?
First, I'd like to say this, you know, I've really mentioned some of the history with Vernon and having to go other places for this, and I think this center is a great asset for the community. Haven't had the opportunity to take classes or things like that, but as a member of the Greater Hartford Foundation, the Andover Committee, we did have an event here, so this is great for things like that, for events. So, I'm here to learn more about the facility and going forward in the operations. And right now I cycle a lot, so I don't come here to do things, but at some point, I may be coming and attending chair yoga with you, Julie, and
Yeah.
so, thank you all, and I leave early, it's not due to lack of interest, but I'm needing to deep for a rail trail ride, so that's why I'll be leaving early.
Good time. Kalina, I don't know your last name.
Ziva,
See that?
but
You're
you know my daughter, she's Beata Galansky.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, I'm new in town. I only moved here a couple of years ago, and I wasn't able to attend anything because I was taking care of my husband who was sick. The last year, I started to attend the meetings and come and became more and more involved. It's just great, I think, for the retired people to meet each other, to even chat for a few minutes on the bus. I think it's great thing.
Okay.
I loved all the arrangements here, all the programs. I do yoga. I love it. I play dominoes and I say,
Killer dominoes. I play with her, I've just learned it, I'm a beginner. She wins all the time.
all the programs, the program with the kids traveling time and the previous ones, it brings me closer and lets me know the town more because I haven't been here. So I love it.
Thank you. I don't know. Kathy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Kathy Campen, and I am a former employee of Andover Public Library. So the budgeting in Andover pretty much paid for my job. But what I'd like to address, because I also agree with everyone that said everything here and have been able to attend programs and will continue to support and attend programs. But I would like you to look at the budgeting part of this, because when you put together an idea of having a facility like this that combines the senior community with the community in general, not only do you have to worry about, I'm sure what Eric went through, going down the whole list of this is what I need for building, this is when it's going to happen, this is the space I need, and last of all, how do I fund this adequately so it can operate? Because otherwise you're giving us a gift and saying, don't open that.
Yeah.
Because we can't afford to give you what's inside the package. Now, when I was working at the library, I had a set number of hours, and what happens, because I'm a really nice person, is I couldn't get it done within those hours. So what did I do? Who knows? What did I do?
Volunteer.
I stayed and worked
Yeah.
for free. I have a degree in children's education, K through 12. I was not being paid at that level. I was being paid at the level somebody walked in at the street. But what did I do? I made programs of art and interest that involved children, that involved adults. In fact, if I hadn't been doing that, we would not have the lower level of the library to use. Because I was grandfathered in, because I brought a chair from home and a rug and a lamp and proved that it had been an active space. And I wanted that to continue. So my assessment of what's happening here is the same thing as what happened to me. And I want to prevent the fact that we have people that are going to have to volunteer their time, which equates to money, but might not equate to their education and their experience. Therefore, we might not be able to have them. And that package would have the wrapping open just a little bit so we could see what's there. The programs that could happen here won't happen. They will not have the time to research what's out there, who's available, when can we have it, coordinate the calendar, and the money, whatever budget they have. So what I want you to think of is, you know, you allow your kid to have a license, right? But then you give them the car keys and no money for gas. So that sits there and we look at it as what it could be. But we need to give, the town has to give our employees in this facility gas money to go forward. Thank you.
Very good.
You're not speaking? Can I get your name?
Ruth?
Ruth?
And Ruth is here as one of the program visitors. Yeah, so she comes and we would not have met had that been
Right.
and we also have other out-of-town people that come because it's a senior center open to anyone.
Ruth, you're providing gas money, I take
Well, we're hoping that the town provides that gas.
it. It's all right, volunteers can provide gas money. Anytime. Kim? You're up.
Public speak.
Public speak. You can say no, I'd be okay with that.
Okay, no, I think that the community center is on track. You have wonderful staff, wonderful volunteers, but I think it needs more town support. I know if we get more people involved, we get the word out there, I think we can go pretty far with this.
Okay. Liz?
I don't really have anything to say at this point. I'll pass it off.
Diane?
Okay, I agree with everything everybody said. That, again, it's a beautiful building. The staff is wonderful. Programming is coming along delightfully. And I applaud everybody that it has a hand in making this what it is today. And we're looking forward to the future growth. And while I'm at it, I'd also like to thank Elaine Boucard for videotaping these meetings, all the meetings that she does. I think that it's a wonderful thing, and I don't think you get enough appreciation. So thank you, Elaine, for doing that.
You're welcome.
I haven't even given her a chance to speak.
Oh,
Kathy?
Okay, I will speak. First, I want to say that Kathy Camden, I've known her for many years, and she helped on Wednesdays to bring up my grandson. He is now 22. So that's how long, well, I've known her before that, but that's how long I've really known Kathy. And she's done a superb job. I felt really bad when she left the library. But getting up to this wonderful building, Mike and I were part of the original building committee. And I think that everyone that was on the committee, Scott Person was on the committee. And I know how hard he worked to get a great building for you. Coming to the staff, everybody has a vision. So my vision, way back when I was a senior coordinator and the head of transportation, and prior to that, the municipal agent, and prior to that, a register of voters. So,
Wait. All volunteer, right? All volunteer.
correct. Well, no. Register of voter, no.
No, but
Remember, you get paid for register of
you
voter.
didn't mention register of voters until just there.
Well-
But all those other things volunteer, right?
Right.
Thank you.
That's,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
yeah, big volunteer.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make the point that my vision was, I thought we should have a person that was transportation person. And guess what? You gave me one. We have Linda, she's great. She's doing a really good job for you. Then you said, okay, what are we gonna have for the building? My dream or my vision was we should have a an instructor, whatever you named her or called her, that person should handle all the, exercise programs, I think have haircut programs, quilting programs, all the programs that you have, trips that you have, you're gonna take people on. That I visualize as being a person. And then, because I know the town wants part-time employment, that's why I see 3 people. If you're doing full-time, perhaps you can do. Lastly, and most important actually, is an administrator. You had to have an administrator handle everything. That person, when I say everything, would take care of getting grants for the building. Right now, I see from using transportation, which I desperately need now, I see that we really need to replace our van, and this is 2014. I see also we need to replace or add to our bus, because the bus is a 2017. It's time to update. We, right now, have the opportunity to get more grants for those 2 positions, for those 2 vehicles. And I see your 3rd person as being your administrative person who will be getting your grants for you, who will be supervising, let's say, supervising the building, supervising, I guess is a good name, but an administrator who would handle those positions, those projects, make sure that everything that the other people are doing their job. There has to be a person like that. There has to be someone in charge. And that's the way I see it. And I'm not saying names, I'm just saying people. I did say Linda because she's doing a great job right now. And I think Haley's doing a super job. I think that Tessa's doing a good job. But I think that to say to any one person, now I want you to do all those jobs, but I want you to take part-time job pay. That's so unrealistic, I can't even tell you. So that's my thought,
Okay.
my vision.
Elaine,
Yeah,
would you like to get up?
no. As chairman of the Commission on Aging, as you know, I am all for everything that we do here and everything we can do, and look forward to the future, that things bigger, better, more community stuff, because that's, we concentrated on the seniors, and now we're concentrating on the senior and community, and then some of just community we need to add to this whole mix. But, certainly, you have a good amount of staffing right now, and I would hope that you would have a full-time, a part-time, and a part-time. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So, item 3 is discussion and act on personal staffing levels in the community center. That's really not the truth of a discussion, just so you understand. The discussion is really more, and I'm speaking to Tess and Haley mostly, how we understand your roles, how we understand the programs you're doing, how we start to, as a board, interact more with you. And then, obviously, everyone is telling us about the financial issue. We all are aware of the financial issue. It's something that we as a board have to address as to how we handle that moving forward. But this is more of an interactive meeting as to what you guys are up to, how you're breaking up your roles, because, and I'll tell you from my perspective, as being here is, it's a new building. I mean, Eric, when did you open it up? About a year ago?
August of last year.
August, we're on month 14 now, right?
Correct.
I'll go back to Kathy. At the present, you gotta open the box and you gotta see what's inside the box. Well, you have to open a new building with no infrastructure, with no standard operating procedures, with very limited amounts of information as to what programs should be run, shouldn't be run. You've got to have patience, all right?
Yeah.
So first thing is patience, but we as a group, as a board, need to understand what's going on, how the two of you are interacting, and then we've got to come to an understanding as a board as to how to fund this. Because I will tell all of you, and Kathy, it's not easy. There's certain things that have to be evaluated. We have to sit there and identify where we can get resources to support this in this manner. And this is where I would tell you guys, in front of a public audience, we need to find ways to generate additional funding, whether they're grants or whether they're programs that the community is willing to pay for. And those are things that we as a group all need to do. And then I will tell you all the one thing, this other thing. We will never have enough money as a community, in my head, to put the total number of people that I would like to see in this building as employees. So we all need to volunteer. So what Kathy did all those years is what we all have to do. Now we just have a place to do it. So before, Kathy was doing all this volunteer work in my mind, and she was doing it at the old town hall, she was doing it in the community room. This is a much better building, which, much better. I mean, I love your artwork on the wall, I think that's great, I mean, you know, but I gotta sit there, because this group needs to ask questions, needs to understand what you're doing and get in there. But please, it's interactive, and I know there's a level of stress that I really don't want here. I mean, please, no stress. I mean, come on, this is something that we as a group have to try to get past, and I'll let you guys talk.
Can I just say one thing before they start?
No,
Come on.
go ahead.
I hope that they're able to let you know what they do within the time they're here, not so much within the allotted hours, because that will help you formulate a picture of what you need, because you have a certain amount of things you want done, and if it's reasonable to have that done.
That's the last outburst I'll tolerate. I'm teasing you. You ready, Tess?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hand you guys, just something that we sort of put together, some ideas. Erin, this one's for you, if you wanna see that.
Oh,
And so-
I got to put it on the last one for Jeff, we'll keep a file.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I feel better when I stand, literally as I stand.
You can stand
I feel,
tall.
I'm more confident
You
when I
can roll
stand.
your board.
Nah, I'm good here.
Roll your board over here, that's all. Get it closer to the camera, you're good.
No, I'm good.
Yep.
So I just want to thank the public because without you, we wouldn't be here. And I appreciate your support, not only from day one, but for the length of time that I was gone. And just as a warm welcome when I came back. I truly love it here, and I've made some really deep conversation, or deep relationships, and I'm very thankful for each one that came out today. Board of Selectmen, you will see that first page. When I started here, I was asked for a vision, and that vision hasn't changed. Our passion is to be a community that connects, grows, and serves together, regardless of age, by fostering opportunities, number one, to stay active, and then there's sort of the mission of that vision of how we get there. Number two is prioritize mental health and well-being, nourish the body through diet, cultivate social connections, and embrace lifetime learning. And so this was in the first newsletter that was produced back in December. And that hasn't changed. Have we got there fully 100%? No, but I think that we are well on our way to get there. And I think that I heard Julia and a couple people say that we are a work in progress and that we're growing. And so for that, I'm thankful. I don't think that we should ever stop. It's a lifetime of learning, and I think that this position needs to reflect that as well. On that second page, you will see Senior Director. And I just want to go back a little bit before I get into the roles and responsibilities. When I came here, the first person that we connected with, or I connected with, to do a program here was Haley. And that was in part by Kathy Palazzi. And so that was chair yoga. And from there, Haley is the instructor of 4 classes here. So, 1, she is vital to this building, and 2, vital to the community in offering those things. So, as you can see, as you know, I'm contracted for 26 hours a week. I don't think I've ever worked 26 hours. I think that is part of who I am, is I volunteer a lot. And that has always been who I am. The heart of who I am is to volunteer. And so coming here, wanting to do a great job, wanting to do the job to the best of my ability, I would want to invest. And I felt like I was being invested in the beginning as well. So I had support from the town administrator and the seniors as well. So going through here, realistically 26 to 32 hours per week. Going down for the overview, provides leadership coordination across senior programs, community partnerships, and daily operations. I don't know how much you want me to read this.
No, you don't need to.
Okay, so
Just
thank you.
listen, just talk from your heart.
Yeah.
That's what's all, we'll
Okay.
come back to you.
So on these, the key responsibilities, there is in parentheses about how many hours it does take to do that per week. On the 3rd page, you'll find community director and approximately how many hours that would take to be that person as well, what those key responsibilities are. There is a lot of overlap, and during this last month, it has been a challenge to see what has been done in the time that I was gone. How can we grow together, and what does that look like between us? I'm very thankful that Haley and I had a relationship that was out of respect and transparency, and that has continued since day one, since I've been back. So I'm very thankful for that, and very supportive of each other. And so almost to the point where she could probably finish my sentences. And so just the overview of of what that community director might look like, and some of the responsibilities as well. So this is the job description on page 4 of that senior director, and the community director job description. I'm not sure if that was in that same order. There are some things on that last page that we would like to see happen, and some things that would make our life a little bit easier to relieve ourselves a lot from time that we're taking to complete some of those jobs. One of those is that newsletter. So we had a lot of feedback the last meeting that was here regarding the newsletter, and so we have made changes to that newsletter. You all have that now. I'm hoping it's a little bit easier to read, and you'll find that there's a lot more things in there, not only for October, but for November as well. So we are booked in November. There's a lot going on. That first thing, that newsletter that we'd like to see happen, I'd like to see a deeper, a monthly meeting with the chairman to communicate so that you all know exactly what's happening here. I've seen some of you, and I'm very thankful. Excuse me, a monthly meeting with either somebody from the board that we can communicate on a better, communicate better.
Please don't call me the chairman.
Sorry.
I mean, I feel older than I already am. Chairman.
I think what would really help us is to have a software system. I know that we have requested that, but we are requesting that again. A color printer, I don't know if you all know, but for us to make copies, we can do black and white here, but for anything that is in color, we have to go next door. So those newsletters, we are printing those next door, which is helpful, but on a day-to-day basis, even on today, we have to run next door, get the key, go downstairs, and do that. So just out of convenience.
What kind of printer is that? Is it just a desktop? Is it?
No, that's a.
The one down there? No, we have service contracts on 2 large printers because our cost per sheet is so much lower than individual printers.
So there's one upstairs and there's one downstairs. The one upstairs in the town clerk's just black and white.
Black and white.
And so the
We
one
have
in
single
color
color printer.
is down in the building department?
Yes. Yep. So a small color printer. Haley and I were actually talking this morning about a tax credit for volunteers. That is being implemented in a senior center that we're aware of, and we would like to try to see how that could impact our volunteers. The sixth one is we do work collaboratively with a lot of different departments in town. Park and Rec, or I keep saying Park and Rec, because Park and Rec is from my town, so I apologize. So from the Rec Commission, and I think that there's a lot of overlap there, and it could be a lot more. But so we're asking for an ex officio member, one of us to be that member on the Rec Commission for purpose of collaboration. And then the seventh thing was more information about Silver Sneakers and Renew Active. And so those are things that we can provide to the community, and how do we get that working. So I think overall, I'm very thankful to be back, looking forward to what the future has for us. I think there's been a lot of instability, not stable. Things have not been stable, not only for the community, but I think for the seniors as well. And so what I would like to see is a settling happening, something that they can count on. Is there going to be classes for them? Is there going to be luncheons for them? And I would like to be a part of that going forward. Is there anything you want to say?
My name is Haley Proto, and I've been serving as the interim director while Tess was away. And I have really enjoyed working within this beautiful building, working with you all, working with the public. Since Tess has been back, we've really been able to up our ability to work even more within the community, starting the homework club and chess and checkers club. And it's been fabulous to get to know the parents on a greater level. You think I should already know them because my kids are in the elementary school, but my previous job did have me commuting to New Haven daily. So it has really helped me get to know people in the community, and I do love working here. And Tess and I got along fabulously before her departure. And so coming back, and we just kind of fell into the swing of it. It is a challenging circumstance, but I think that, you know, it almost made us grow closer more quickly just because of we were both with the understanding of how challenging the circumstance was. We work well together. We have our own strong suits that pair nicely, and I think that the goal of this building, similar to the inability to unwrap a gift that's sitting in front of you, with the two of us here, I think we have the potential to really continue to grow something, right? And that's what we want to see. We want to see more programs. We want to see the potential for revenue growth. And I think that's something we can really hone in on if we have a little bit more manpower than just the one director at 26 to make these things happen.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. One more thing.
Go.
I do want to say, we have added art classes in the evenings, so that starts in November. We do have the art gallery. This will be an art gallery once a month, and that artists can come, share, and display their items. We will have an open house for them, and they get to display their items all month. This particular artist is Kim DeRozier, and she is going to be our art teacher, our art instructor, and so she'll not only teach the community, but she will teach the seniors during the day. So.
And while that is not going to, like, this is a good example, while that particular thing is not going to be necessarily a huge revenue generator for the center, the ability to run the community version of the adult class is going to fund the ability to have this same art teacher come in and work with the seniors for a very discounted, what is it, $8 rate?
$8.
Right, the seniors come and take these art classes for $8, right? So we're able to collaborate together, bringing this art class to the community and using that ability to then offer more senior programming at a very discounted rate.
So like a class like that, how many seniors take that? And I know you're starting in November, but what do you think the number of seniors that would take that class?
Well, does she have a 12-person cap? So it's a 12-person cap of how she can teach within a space, like what's acceptable. However, the goal would be that if, instead of having her once a month, you know, could we grow that popularity to have her in on a weekly basis? You know, could we have more offerings per week? You know, the art teacher we have coming in is a mixed media artist, which means she can do oil painting, she can do watercolor, she can do collage, right? So there's this opportunity for people to study different mediums with her.
And this just goes because I'm business oriented.
Yeah.
Is there any part of that $8 that goes to fund your budget? Or is it all going to the art teacher?
Ideally, the revenue coming in from the adult version of the class is funding the senior art class. And so the $8 would be moving into our budget.
Okay,
Right.
so
As
are you
revenue.
paying
As
the art
revenue.
teacher? Are you paying the art teacher? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So how much do you think you're paying the art teacher? Is the art teacher $6 and it's $2 for the, that's all I'm after. It's just a number.
Yes, so,
It's just like how, because I look at your free classes and I understand that's all part of the budget, just like Kathy's telling us, we gotta increase the budget to unwrap the present. But you have these other programs, you know, chair massage, $32, my favorite person, Linda Derrick.
yeah.
How much of that is Linda's and how much of that is this? And those are not things I need to put out now, but you guys need to
If we
think
know that,
about
yep.
that. Because you need to realize that we need to, we as a group, as a team, as a town, we need to generate some funding out of the building to assist, to pay for all the additional hours and the other items that you're talking about. So those things to me just go, what can we do and where are we at?
Yeah.
So I don't need an answer today. I'm not gonna pin down because I'd sit there in my head go, you might only fill 6 seats. You might not have any seniors that wanna do art for $8 class. I don't know that. We don't know that just yet. But we all have things to work on.
Right.
So,
And if we can fill that community center art class, we can decrease that price to our seniors or even have it free. So,
correct.
so money in the budget or provide something for free.
And what other new programs do you think that you are on the horizon?
I'll speak, if I can speak first. I am really excited to have such a great connection with the elementary school. And what we started last year was a PAL program where the seniors would come and
PAL
meet
stands
with
for?
people across lifetimes. And so there was a book that Tammy Gerhardt wrote, and it was all about community getting together. Even though we have differences, how are we alike and how can we make connections that way? So we introduced the PAL program, and those were activities that seniors could do with their little buddy. They were in kindergarten. This year it's going to continue, and hopefully it will continue to grow every year. Not only introducing a whole new set of kindergartners, but also the ones that can keep their buddy from last year. So that's continuing. I was introduced to another author, local author, and he has written a book called Travel in Time in Connecticut. And so what we're going to do with the 6th grade class, we've already met in a 6th grade class, and some of the seniors will be getting together and going on local field trips and talk about the history of Andover. In the end, we will be writing a book. And so producing our own book, and so the kids will bring in They're researched. The seniors will have interviews with the students and artwork as well. So whether the seniors and the students have artwork or whatever else however this goes, it's very fluid at this point. But that's something that we're really excited about. We do have connection also with Cheney Tech and hopefully Wyndham Tech as well in the culinary arts, having them come in, maybe teach a class to either the students or the community, and sort of grow on those relationships that we already have. So I'm excited about that. That's what makes me excited. And seeing the feedback from the seniors, it's been quite positive. And the excitement from the kids want to be here. This is a club, they don't have to be. They could be doing anything else, but coming here and spending time with seniors is something that we love.
Any of the seniors participate in that program?
The PAL,
Well,
not that I know of, but I do not.
by Bill.
Yeah,
But enjoy the ride.
thank you.
All right.
Good day to you.
I love your shirt.
Beer?
Yeah.
Julia and Kalina, if I'm looking around, Kathy was there as well, so last year, I think maybe came to a couple.
I was also involved in it the first time.
Yeah, a little chaotic that first time, when 21 of those kids came in, it was a lot.
Just
Yeah.
information.
I was,
Yeah.
at the meeting where the sixth graders came for the traveling time.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with their enthusiasm
Yeah.
to write a book.
Yeah.
And I mentioned a few things that I had learned from people in town as I lived here. I've been on Beating the Bounds. I've heard from stories from our historian. And I mentioned a few things to them about when we bought an old house in town, how we determined that it was sound because the builders came and stuck the penknives in all the beams in the cellar, and they didn't go in very far, so that meant they were sound. And no termites. But they were so interested in so many of the simple things I had heard about and learned. I didn't realize I was going to be so impressed with this group of sixth graders who are hooked to write a book about history in Andover. And
Well, they have a project on Hanover every year.
oh, that's
And it's the
good.
same information, Kathy, I'm sure can
Yeah.
tell, there's only 3 books in the library that
Oh,
you have
come
to
on.
take out. It's probably history of Hanover. So if they can write a better book, then guess what, we don't have to do the project, and every parent doesn't have to sit there and do that.
There might be 4, Jerry.
It was great too, if I could also add, it was great too to have one of our seniors who is 100 years old.
Yes.
And for these students to just, they're shocked and awe, I think, of just having somebody older. And so alive and excited to be here with them too. It's a mutual relationship and just a sweet bond that's happening. I just love to see it.
Are you two keeping track of the amount of people that come in and out of here?
Since we did prior.
Do you do it now?
Prior to her leaving,
Yeah.
it was
You do
something
you
that
do it
was
now.
being tracked. I did not. There was not enough time
Yeah.
to collect scraps of paper respectfully and count the names. It is time for a computer system. Respectful.
Okay.
We know that.
I know, I just,
So when I look at the hours and then the job description, so just so the two of you split this out according to what your vision is as to the different positions, right? So you're telling us 28 to 32 hours and 28 to 30 hours, and then the job description that offsets those. All right?
Yeah, Mama? You're happy I came, aren't you? I just
You
want
know, I have to tell you, this is a totally different meeting than I ever run. I don't let usually people talk in the audience.
You're
But,
being so
and
sweet.
you know, Julia took so much time.
She's very good at that.
It was 8 minutes. No, I don't have any idea how long. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure it's not overlooked, that when Tess told you her job things and that she's allotted 26 hours, and Haley, she's allotted 19, right? When November 15th comes, unless there's some funding there, you're losing 19 hours of work.
That's why we're here.
Okay, I just want to
We're
make sure.
trying to
that
be here to
you're on
get an
the-
explanation of what, and I'm really glad Liz is here from the Board of Finance, because at the tri-board meeting, that was what was expressed. We have 2 issues financially within the community from my end. One is the town administrator's position, and the other is the senior center, community center. So we have to figure it out. And so we either have to find money from other places, or we have to sit there and dedicate more of our budget to where we're going. So, please understand that this board is really not here to sit there and we're under budget constraints. We may not be able to do everything they want, but we have to sit there and get an understanding of what it is, and then get a feel for the community. I mean, one of my things that I would come back and tell you guys, you need to do quarterly surveys. Because you cannot allow, and I'll say this as nicely as I possibly can, the crankiest person to get to other members on this board and just tell them what they want. You have to have data from the rest of the community to understand how this center is performing across a larger group of people. Because it is really the truth, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yep.
And if somebody is in someone's ear, that's who they're hearing, right? And you can't allow it, right? We can't allow it, right? So I need a survey on a quarterly basis as to what you, as the users of this facility, think. Because I'm not here I don't consider myself a senior. I have white hair, like Diane, but I do not consider myself a senior. And I do work full-time, so I still work. So you have to tell me, I have to see the data, or the person that is complaining is gonna get to us.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I wholeheartedly agree and would love to be able for us to provide that. And this is just another little, can we please get a program, because here is feedback, but I have no real way to present it to you all in a.
Please get with the school and ask the school and the technology person to develop you a Google survey sheet, get an iPad or some type of I mean, you guys are getting good at technology, aren't you? Seniors, I'm looking at you, even better. I mean, if we got them a tablet and we asked them to take the survey on a tablet, before we sit there and even get to the whole issue of software, that's a different issue. We gotta find that money, we gotta figure out how to do it, and we'll work toward it. But you can do these things, you just have to be creative how you do it. And if you have a good relationship with the school, they have the technology, they send these things home to parents. Ask Mrs. Frazier, or ask Valerie to ask Mrs. Frazier, she'll work with you and maybe make it a 6th grade project, because the kids can do anything, right? And develop a survey that you hand the seniors a tablet and say, hey, please take this survey and let us know how we're doing. And then you can give the data to the board, and then we can go, okay, there's positive feedback coming for the community, and you have to be honest. If you're not honest, we'll never get better. So the seniors have to be honest, right? And give us the data, because then I can look at it and say, okay, the users of the facility are happy with the direction the facility is going, and then how do we expand it more? And they will also tell us the things that they don't feel are being done properly, and we can allocate what we need to. But you have to do that as a bare minimum, because small towns work in strange ways, and whoever is talking is the one that sits there and gets information, and then maybe not everything gets translated correctly, or is in everyone's interest. And that's what we have to stop.
How much is the tablet?
You can use any tablet, but we could get you a tablet for $100. Eric, before he leaves, can figure that one out.
Great.
Please, Eric.
Diane,
Thank you for, patience is not one of my strong suits, and I've been waiting very patiently, and what I say that's missing here is a major part of what they're doing, and that's the senior transportation. Nobody's talked about it. I know,
well, I
Not
can't
yet.
because she's working over here in early voting.
right, but it's, let's see, you've got the administrator, you've got the program, and then there's the senior transportation, which,
We'll talk
Gotta
about
be
it.
three people, gotta be three
okay,
people.
like I
That's
said,
it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any resources to help seniors, senior center get more grants?
Well, that's something that we need to sit there and look at the administrator, and we need to work as to how we're going at this. But that is something that we really have to do a better job of.
I can speak to a little bit about that. Kathy, you brought up a good point in having one of our transportation fleet, one of our vehicles that was very old, and it's time to retire that vehicle. In April, I did apply for a grant, and we have yet to hear about that. So that would be replacing that van. And so we're
Replacing the van?
replacing the
And
van.
now it's time to put in for another vehicle for the bus.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So yes, thank
That
you
just
for
came
that.
through yesterday, and
Yep, so we
It's there.
are, that is
You're
very
still getting the
time-consuming.
emails?
I know the people down there, you know.
So it is time consuming, and that is something that, it was a lot for me to do. I was also doing, everything here and transportation, and I wrote that grant. I was exhausted, and thankfully Haley does have a little bit more experience in that. And so that's again, one of those ways where, we work well together. So I'm thankful it takes time to do it, so, yeah.
Well, just,
That is in the works.
Is there more than one place to apply for grants for the vehicles? So you're applying for multiple places then, or what?
That's a great question, Anne, and for myself, I know that there's lots of grants that we could apply for and getting creative in how we can use that. We are in the midst of actually applying for a grant, and each town in the state of Connecticut receives a $10,105 grant just for applying, and it is to use towards transportation. So that could be maintenance, it could be $1,000. Of that $10,000 will go to administration. There are things that you can be creative in there. Could it help with the software system? Absolutely. We just have to be creative enough to make those work. So yes, there are different grants that you can apply for. For vehicles, that's gonna take some research, so yes. I guess on a whole, yes.
I only know one real transportation grant that you can fund vehicles. And if you look out there, 3 of the 4 vehicles in that fleet were funded from that grant over the years. Rarely do we get that the first time, so I'm assuming that we're going to resubmit that grant for another van. Because in all likelihood, we haven't been told yet, because they don't announce them, even though we applied, last March. There's often a year lag time before we even found out whether we got the last grant. So the goal would be to be ready to go to resubmit that grant again for a van.
just a quick thing that I would like you to do. Can you tell us all what grant funding is coming into this building potentially within the next 12 months? We have the legislative money, we have different funding sources. I'm not talking about running, I'm talking about finishing off parts of this.
So if you're talking about building specific stuff, there is a federal request through the US Senate for money that would be used to finish the basement of this building, as well as put in the generator backup, which would cover this building, the town hall and the fire station to replace the 35-year-old generator there with a propane generator. That is right around $300,000. I don't have the exact figure off the top of my head. If we get that, we would supplement that with the next legislative appropriation, which we will have available sometime around July 1 of next year. Won't actually be July 1, it'll be sometime later in July when they announce it, which would be another $250,000. Between those two, there should be enough money to complete that project completely, as long as somebody decides what we're actually doing with the basement. You know, we put it before the board a number of times what the goals are for the basement, but without knowing what we're building to, it's hard to understand like what level we're building the basement to, what we're trying to do with it. So those determinations would have to be done. That should be able to be done without any real town tax dollars if we get both of those. If we don't get both of those, then somebody's gonna have to make a hard-nosed decision about whether the priority is the generator or whether the priority is finishing off the basement of this building. Personally, I think the priority is the generator, because this building has 0 backup.
The generator in the kitchen.
You can't come up with banks, absolutely.
I mean, that's,
I mean,
yep.
I mean, if you went step 1, step 2, right, it would be the generator in the kitchen. And then the basement, when we can decide what we need to, so if you don't get the Senate money, we would use the Connecticut funding for we should, either one.
Right. Right, and remember, there is also, they're sitting out there about $150,000 in the multi-use building fund that's earmarked for finishing this off, because we didn't know we were getting the legislative grant anyway. So there are some fairly big pools of money you can tap if and when that funding comes through. It just, you know, you gotta see it through.
Right, so that's just a little background information for everybody, so we all understand what we could potentially do and not do. And so now we gotta come back to your issues. And I guess I would ask, like, I looked through your job description and I looked through this, and let's talk about the senior transportation coordination. So none of that is currently on any of your job descriptions right now. And you have oversight capacity, but how is that being handled currently, so we're all aware, and how do you think it's working?
I did have a paper, I'm sorry to get in your packet, but yeah, we did have that as well. Before I left, I was doing the senior transportation. It seemed to be working well. We didn't forget too many people on a regular basis. Yes, there are mistakes, and we have forgotten a few, and I still apologize to Lena that we did forget you. But as it goes, it was easy under one roof. Now that Linda has that, she is working at least 10 hours a week, and she oversees that. We do communicate. It would be easier if we were able to communicate and share a document, share a calendar that's live, and so we are working on that. So that's something that we're working on, so that when we schedule a trip or a program, she will already know that that is on her calendar as well, and she could do the transportation part. So before it was easier under one, communication has been a little bit challenging, but I think going over to a new software will definitely help that. But using the same live calendar is going to help alleviate a lot of those problems.
Until we can get the software to work with the school again on that, that's another technology project that would be good for them.
Yeah.
But how is senior transportation going right now? Any issues? Any issues with senior transportation?
I use it a lot, and Lisa does, and several other people. We're on the route. And it works very well. I've never had somebody book to take me to a doctor's appointment not show up. I've never had that. Yeah, I find it tremendous for doctor's appointments in Glastonbury, and occasionally at Farmington Medical Center.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of seniors here depend on that so they can get here, otherwise they would never be able to do it.
But those that just don't ever drive, can't even get here unless they have those vans
Right.
to bring them. Even though they may just live a half a mile away. You can't walk a half a mile on a narrow lake road around the lake to get here, it's not safe.
And she has to do a great job. All great feedback has been coming back.
I think it was a really good move to take it out of the job of the persons in charge here and have somebody separate like Linda do it,
Yeah.
really, because that's,
It's confusing.
it's confusing. It has the potential for a lot of mistakes if you're doing 6 other jobs at the same time and the phone's ringing and you're trying to print a program so the people that are coming to the building here know what's coming up, doing these billboards, display boards and putting out this,
So Linda hasn't made any mistakes.
not for me, and I've used it quite a bit because I haven't driven since I got back from having a serious tick bite starting in July.
Okay.
Weeks and weeks of not.
Jeff, excuse me to interrupt you. I would like to see added to the transportation, it's part of the rules that we originally have set for the senior transportation, that if there's a vote, like we're having voting now, voting on November 4th, and if there's any meetings that evening, Board of Selectmen, that should be in public, or Board of Finance, or whatever, the bus is available, supposed to be available to take the seniors if they need to go, even if it's only 1 or 2 seniors. That has not been happening, and I'd like to see that added. I know that you did know about it, Tess, so
No,
it's
no, I
it's
didn't know,
not,
and
yeah.
we have provided transportation to voting last year. We did do that last year.
You did do the voting, okay,
We did do
great.
that last year.
Okay, great.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, I want to see that, but
Definitely-
yeah, I do like the idea if you have, I do like the idea if there is some sort of a PC interchange where Tess, Haley, and Linda could see the trips like you're talking about, or anything coming up, a vote or a meeting, that means there's availability if they want to go.
Correct.
Does
And then
anyone
we
want to
can-
come to our meetings, really? I know you love coming to our meetings. But you like sitting in your kitchen with Mike.
I'd love to see it done, but hey.
Understood, this is more an understanding of, let's just talk for me, numbers. So, you got an admin, let's say 26 hours. And let's say, is that currently 26 hours? Right, Tess, your number is
For me,
26? Yeah, 26.
for me, currently, yeah.
All right, and then we got, we'll just call it Haley, because, what was your title, Haley? What are we calling it?
Well,
Currently?
I was the interim
Interim?
senior director.
Yeah, but now,
However, I've really been leaning into, since she's been back, I've just been trying to utilize my time in a way that helps us grow, so leaning into the community aspect.
okay, and currently, right now, you're 19 hours?
Correct.
All right, and Linda is 10, is that accurate?
That is correct.
Budgeted, we had 26. Just so you know, and I'm talking to the Board of Finance.
Yep. Where?
We got 26. So if we choose to move forward with this, we have a financial issue that we're gonna have to address. Okay?
Are we taking a vote on this right now?
No,
Or
we're
we're
just
just
talking.
talking, we're just talking.
There's no vote. We're just talking. Because what we have to do from the board perspective is we all have to come back and, at our next meeting, really, because Jeff's not here, we really do need to talk about how we're going to proceed. And I believe, Eric, when we extended Haley's contract, we extended it till after the election to the 15th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we have to decide at our next meeting exactly what we're gonna do. We have to give you enough time, Haley. This is not, it will not be, we're gonna sit there and deal with this
if you're not making the decision today, you do understand she's actively seeking other employment because she does not want to take the risk of being unemployed.
Understood.
So if you're not gonna do it, understand that that option may not be available to you in a week's time.
Okay, all right. What other questions does everybody else have?
I just had one test. You said that another senior center is looking for tax credits for volunteers. Which senior center, please?
Yeah, it was a senior center in Massachusetts, Newbury, Mass.
Okay, so their laws would be different than ours.
Correct, so that would be.
Because there's a state statute that empowers us to create an ordinance for our fire department
Yep.
abatement, so I'm not sure that we have something like that, but Newbury, Mass.
Yep.
I'll call them.
And so
just-
you can
See if
call,
we have
we
anything.
are already in research and we are in communication with them as well, so, yeah,
Okay.
that would be great.
And the only other thing, ex officio, you are both more than welcome to attend any recreation commission meeting, and as Haley can attest,
Yeah.
we're very interactive, we don't quiet people like Jeff wants, who want to speak outside of public speaking. We welcome
I've been.
your ideas, and we love to hear them, so we more than welcome both of you. Anyone else who would like to come to rec commission meetings, second Tuesday of every month. And we meet in person,
Yes,
so.
the meetings in person are very nice. I've been going to the meetings and enjoying it. Everybody on the commission is fabulous, and I just think that us working together more helps to grow it. You know, there's gonna be times, especially once you get into the winter seasons, where the rec commission's gonna need access to space like this, and I want to make sure they're high on the priority list of getting what they need. And so me being there, I've been trying to go to all the meetings I could.
And there, Saturday, we're having our Halloween fun day where we give out candy. And the Community and Senior Center is running quite a few other little things for the kids. So we're hoping that your joining with us will
Absolutely.
encourage more people to
Yeah.
attend. I do believe
Yeah.
that, so thanks for that.
Jeff, can I just share one more thing, and I think then I'm done. Being senior center and director, I don't think that, we have it all figured out yet. I think it's something fluid and that we're growing into, and speaking with, setting up a meeting with area directors, senior center directors this past week has been very informative. Ian, you were there, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't think that we need that. We need to hear from our peers. We need to know how things are going in other places so that we can make adjustments as well. I think that's important that we have communication with you so that we know what's going on, or you know what's going on, so that you can provide feedback and impact too. So after that meeting, and whenever you want to, I can share, or we can do that at another time. 3 other senior centers came, and it was very informative. It was interesting to see how far we actually are compared to people that have been there in their positions for 19 years, and some 12, 19 years, and so that was good. I left there and I was very encouraged. I think you were too. Eric was there pretty much the whole time, so it was a good thing. So know that we aren't just coming up we don't have. It's not wisdom in our own eyes, is that we're actually going out there and seeking wisdom from other people as well.
Julia?
Well, I think it's a great thing for you to do, because we are 25 years behind the time of when these other senior centers started. And if they're willing to meet with you and tell you what those growing pains were 20 years ago, that can only be helpful. And they have a lot of things worked out that you might be pondering about, and they can tell you how they solve it. It's almost, should be required.
Yes, yeah.
That you see them maybe twice a month. get to know them? How can you, would you advise us?
That would be two of my hours though, Julia.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what I wanted to know too, is
Yeah.
what are we not gonna be able to do if they don't have, like, what do you do after your 26 hours that you're giving them?
That's a great question.
Right now, she knows.
I don't know if they'll let me talk again. Eric, right now. You haven't said much.
I'm leaving, it's not for me to say.
Well, the one thing that I think I would like to know is, and if I had any input in this, is if they're, you know, we have to move forward, budget's of concern, but when you look at what they're able to do within their 19 and 26 hours and 10 hours, what will they have been doing that they cannot continue to do?
Right.
So there's evening programs, and then so some of their hours go to that. Are we going to still be able to do that? I mean, those are things that would interest me as a resident that takes advantage of it.
Well, there's no good employee, there's no good person. If you've ever had work for you or that you've done a job where you haven't put in extra time.
Right.
I mean,
But
so
how
please,
much?
I understand. That's a personal choice. It's like Eric Anderson. He's not a 40-hour-a-week employee.
Yeah.
We knew that, I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if I'm hiring someone for her position, and it's a 19-hour or a 26-hour position, and she doesn't put in some extra time, she's not gonna be here very long. I mean, I'm just saying that, I know it's a negative, but I'm just telling you, Eric looks at it that way, and I'm just saying, I know, it's just how it is. And I don't mean it that I'm going to push that person out. They're gonna push themselves.
Well, I think also, you know, you, as a person, I'll speak for myself. If I'm supposed to be putting in 10 hours, but what I'm trying to accomplish will take 30, and I put that 30 in, how do I feel about myself after 10, 15 years of doing that and not being
Compensated.
That is not.
compensated?
That
It's
is
as
not,
far as
that is
it
definitely
goes
not,
into yourself.
not healthy, not healthy. And
Right.
any organization has to sit there, any good organization should sit there and evaluate the people that are putting in the extra time and reward them correspondingly. That's just how it should work.
But historically, in this town, it has not.
Historically, in this town, it has not worked because we are financially constrained.
Yes.
And I have told Tess this, that I believe her role, and she didn't put it on any of the information, is a volunteer coordinator. Because if we don't have volunteers, if you don't volunteer, if I don't volunteer, if our neighbors don't volunteer, right? If we don't, then the amount of programs within this building are gonna be limited because we don't have the financial capacity to.
You're saying that she's a coordinator of the
Of
volunteers.
you, of me, of everybody else. I wanna come in and do a card night. Okay, Jeff McGuire wants to come in and do a card night. Jeff McGuire is gonna run that program.
Right,
I'm not gonna get compensated for it unless I win some money,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Well, I'll probably lose, that's okay, but,
yeah.
you know, that's what you have to do.
So I think too, if I could just speak to that a little bit, I think with any position that you do take, is there's a level of investment and there's heart behind it. And you wanna go in with passion and heart and serve the community, whatever job it is. And so I think that when you are appreciated and valued for your investment, and there's a good working relationship and communication, that really does solve a lot of it. And when there's communication and there's needs, then we can work together at the table and say, hey, I need this, and it's a mutual, there's a mutual benefit. Thank you.
And I don't want you to misunderstand me. I love working at the library, and I love going in and subbing, you know, whenever. I enjoyed it. It's just came time to retire, you know. They were wonderful to me.
So you have fun.
Oh, yes.
So that's what Tess is saying.
Would I stay
You
there
have
for
fun.
30 hours a week? You know? No, I wouldn't if I didn't care.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Oh, can I just ask Jeff a question?
Oh, all right,
Jeff,
Kathy.
no, seriously, I would love to ask you a question. Seriously, when we were planning the building, did you, as being our first selectman, did you not think that we were going to be spending money? And it was not imaginary money, we had to have money.
We asked for $20,000 more than the Board of Finance ordered. So we understood that we had a level of investment that was required, and it was not even enough. Even what we asked for wasn't enough.
Right.
But we were cut down to X, right? So, and it's not a negative on the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance has a very difficult job. Right? The Board of Finance has to take what available tax dollars we have and identify where they can be put out. And so what the Board of Finance did at the time, it said it's a new organization, start with less. That's what Eric's job across everything has been to sit there and take what he's been given and spread it out as best he can and do the best possible job for the community. That's what his job, that's what the administrator's job entails. We're here to try to set priorities and a vision, to sit there and say, hey, listen, administrator, do this. Members of the community center, do this. We want to see this. We ask, so I don't control every purse string, right? So we ask, and this is not a negative on the Board of Finance, don't get me wrong. But if the Board of Finance sets the priorities to do certain things, they're gonna set financial priorities. I can't spend that money. And okay, we gotta live with it. But that's where you gotta look at the Board of Finance, and this is why I had the conversation with the tri board meeting. I've got an issue with the town administrator's position, and I've got an issue with the community center. Those are my two, as a member of this board, only one member, please, only one member, but as mine, those are the two issues. Those are financial issues I have to raise more forcefully with the Board of Finance to get them to understand that we need to push money into these to gain the correct value. That's reality. Now Liz from the Board of Finance, have at it.
Oh, so my question, getting back to a point that you mentioned earlier was revenue, generating revenue. And I guess, what are you doing to track the revenue that's been coming in? Can we see some kind of report from that? And, I mean, because I see some of these programs are really expensive.
Which one?
Well, the yoga.
Massage, the chair massage one is the biggest.
The chair, I'm sorry, the chair massage.
Stained glass.
Yeah, the stained glass that I went to, which was really fun, and that was expensive. It was $65, and I guess it would be my question is that all going to the teacher? And if someone's coming in to provide some kind of a lesson like that, I think they should, I don't know, the price should be negotiated, I think, a little better, or part of that should go to revenue to the senior center.
So it should be rent for use of the facility.
Yes, right, to generate.
And listen,
right?
those are all things that we need to get to, we
Yeah.
need to come back to you and work with you to understand how it's doing, but yes. I mean, listen, I will tell you the truth, it will get me in trouble. What should happen for the town of Andover and the community center is the after-school program at the school should be incorporated into the community center. That's not gonna be popular with the parents and the PTA and the people that are running that program.
Why not? That benefits the whole community, of course it would be.
Of course it should, and the money that's generated from that program should be able to assist in funding, the director and the assistant director and the other directors and the employees that work with the kids over there, and it would integrate us for. Just like every other community, if you went to Marlboro and you went to Hebron and you went to our surrounding communities, it's all run that way. And that's something, we never had a community center. And we never had a community center director. So the school, I understand, when my children used that program, that's how it was run. If you wanted after school, before and after school, that's how you did it. Times are changing. Those are things that should be considered. I'm just
So,
saying.
Liz, I hear what you're saying, and yes, some of these do appear expensive. But it is hard to find volunteers that will come in, professional artists that come in, chair yoga. I think a man is worth his wages as well. And so for them to come in and that's part of their livelihood, then absolutely I think they should be paid. Do I think that a lot of these things should be free? Absolutely. So
Yeah,
then
I'm not-
how do we generate that? So
I think
people
she's talking
can-
about something different.
Oh, okay, my
I think
apologies.
she's sitting there saying, if you're charging money,
Yeah.
is 25% of that fee allowed to sit there and go into a pool of monies to offset different other programs for the seniors and for everybody else? Where is that money going and how is that money being tracked?
Yeah.
It's more of an accounting board of finance.
So the money is being tracked and submitted deposit monthly to
The treasurer's.
the treasurer's office. Currently right now, and this is just what was set before I walked in the door, it's a flat fee per head of attendees, which means if we're charging $7 for chair yoga, it's a much bigger percentage than the $32 chair massage. Does that make sense? Kind of make sense to people?
And so that's where we had to start somewhere.
We had to start somewhere, and
So when you say per head, what are you talking about? When it's $2 or $3
So
or $4? What's
for,
the-
it's $2 per head for town residents and $3 per head for, out-of-town residents. And so,
And the remainder goes to the instructor.
and the
Correct.
remainder goes to the
So
instructor.
if we sat there and used the $32 chair massage,
Mhm.
$29 goes to the individual giving the chair massage, and $3 per person goes to the community center.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Okay.
clear and understandable now.
Yep, and now, to just one other question on that, because and I think this is for Julie. You had mentioned that in another town, you pay $15 a year to go there.
Oh,
As
no,
Not there.
$15 for your lifetime.
Lifetime.
For your
You
lifetime.
get a lanyard with a
Okay.
photo and a membership number that you put up to a lock,
Okay,
a reader outside the door to get in.
and what does that do for
Doors are
you?
locked all day and all night.
Okay, so I guess I'm wondering what the benefit of the $15
Let you in
lifetime
the
is.
door.
Is it
It's just for entrance.
just for entrance? So do you get a special rate as a member or?
Would you pay for other services in Bolton?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
that was
those
my question.
higher fees are, this is why I've been waving my hand. That's not a price that's special for a senior center.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
If
'cause
you
I-
wanna go to a salon and have a pedicure, you're gonna pay that amount of money.
Oh, I know, trust me.
So, I mean, these people are doing it for their living. So they're not gonna come out here for a reduced rate, really. And I'm sure if you two directors here, co-directors, go and talk to people in the senior centers in the greater town area, you're gonna find the same kinds of prices.
Right.
Because I've had a pedicure at Bolton. And it's up there. It's not, it's like if I went to a place at Evergreen Walk or something. Those are the going rates.
Oh, yeah, I'm not disputing, I'm
No,
just asking
it's not,
questions.
Julie, it's not the rate, and what you did for us is you told us that other senior centers charge for services, so that
Yes.
helps us out.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are we charging enough? And you guys are just doing a new program, it's fine, we'll work toward it.
I think there's a few ways that can help to generate more revenue and distribute it a little bit more fairly from the, I have the view of being the person running programming as well, not just from an administrative standpoint, but as the teacher. Right, and so if it's moved rather than a flat rate to a percentage base, then you would be getting a larger percentage for those more expensive offerings. And the people trying to teach something for very little amount of dollars aren't having to pay out necessarily as much of the money coming in. But the bigger thing that this space can be used for to help generate funds is events. Right, so renting it out to members of the community, there are these routes we could take to help to increase revenues to help offset some of this stuff. And
We just need the board to approve the facility usage forms, and we can move forward with that as well. So what price, and how, and that's the way the board can help us,
yeah,
is to approve those.
And for our next meeting, can you get usage fees for Hebron, Marlboro, Columbia?
yeah, because I think that's another thing where maybe we all in the town might have wavered back and forth, right? Like, we want it to be really, this is the community center, we want it to be really expensive for the community members. Yeah, but if it's so inexpensive that it's like, we're undercutting ourselves. You know, some of the rates we've explored is like $25 an hour. And you know, if that's what we go with, fabulous, but if one of the issues is we can't properly staff this building because we don't have the money, and your average rental hall runs $200 an hour, you know, I want it to be inexpensive for town members, but maybe 25 is a little too low, realistically. And maybe that's just something we can kind of like explore, talk about, hash out as a community, you know, because I can see, you know, we really need to weigh that.
Right.
What's that, Jeff?
I had to talk to my board members, if you don't mind. One thing I'd like to ask you, Haley, is you run how many chair yoga programs here?
So I have 2 chair programs. One's chair yoga, one is a resistance band class. And then I have a community like floor-based offering, and then I kind of oversee the sewing group, which is free to attend.
Okay, so you have 4 classes that are paid for, right? Okay.
3 classes that are paid for, and 1 is free to attend.
1 is free to attend. And how is the attendance in those programs?
Chair yoga has anywhere between 8 and 12 people weekly.
Yeah.
And resistance band has also been falling somewhere between 5 and 11 people weekly.
All right, and just so I understand and the group understands, they're $5 each session, some $7?
So
$7.
both of them are $7.
Okay, so a class generates somewhere between $10 and $20 for the community center, and you get the rest of the funding, the money from running those programs?
Yes.
Okay, and those are not included in the 19 hours that you're
Correct,
currently
that is outside.
Outside, okay. So, and how many of those types of programs do we run on a weekly basis?
Currently, right now, let's see, we run the 4 listed, and then we have the massage and the Linda's community evening Thursday night yoga, so that puts us at 6. We are on the hunt for a new foot person. Because our person just left, but normally we have had that and it's been running. And then we have 2 haircut options, so that puts us at 9.
So I think it goes to Liz's issue, just for all of us. Can you give us, for our next Board of Selectmen meeting, can we get a revenue summary for the last 4 months?
Yes.
Right? And sit there and let us know what the community center has generated, you know, because what's happening, and I'll just go from an accounting standpoint, it's going over the treasurer's office and it's getting dumped in the general fund.
No.
No.
Where's it going?
We have our own.
It's going into their account.
We have an L account.
So
You have an
so last year.
Get us the report from the L account for next
I
month,
can.
for this month, right? And that would be helpful to know what's there, because it will help us as a board go, okay, here's funding that we can sit there and deal with the additional hours and the additional support, you know, before we go to the Board of Finance and say, you gotta increase the total line item by X, Y, or Z, whatever we come to.
I can
just ask a question. Is it going into the program's liability account or the senior lunch liability account?
I'll tell you, there used to be 1 liability account for the community and senior center. We requested last year that gets split into 3. So 1 for trips, 1 for programs, and 1 for the luncheon. So whenever we have a luncheon, that money that we have, the revenue has come in, that goes back into the luncheon. So for this, Christmas party, we're taking out of the luncheon. We could technically maybe take it out of the trips as well, because it is sort of a trip, but definitely we'll be
Don't
taking
take
money
it
out
out
of
of the
the.
luncheon.
Can I just ask, so you have 3 liability accounts, is what
One,
you're telling me?
one liability.
One
account.
liability account, just 3
Line items.
categories with it.
3 categories
Right.
within, so
That's
that
correct.
probably is the old senior lunch liability account,
It
correct?
used to be the senior lunch, and
Okay.
so when January came, it was after January that we had requested that the Board of Finance split that into sort of like 3 line items for us. And so we know how much money is going in from
Right.
those different places, yeah.
Right, because we've
Yeah.
always had the 3 within the budget, because I've noticed that the senior lunch has substantially increased. There's $12,000 now
Correct.
that's been budgeted for
Right.
that. That's a lot more than it ever was.
It is,
The
and we're
trips
happy
is at 4,000,
Correct,
and programs are also at 4,000 now.
correct.
So when this money goes into the liability account,
Mhm.
it doesn't go back into the general fund, it's just going to roll over every year.
No,
Correct.
but what we need to do is reduce the expense, especially on senior lunch.
I
Correct.
We're
And we did
over
that.
budget.
So what happened, and I can
But
just.
we're not over budget because we have $12,000 that was put into this fiscal year.
Well,
I know in the past we had, but we did fundraisers.
Right, so I'll say this. Spending last year, spending for luncheons, providing luncheons at $5 after December would not have sustained itself, that we would have gone well over budget. And so my solution was to up the charge of those luncheons from $5 to $7 to $10 to help, 1, bring in revenue, and 2, to help offset the cost, and to make it through to the end of that budget season. And so what
And
happened?
did we?
Um,
I'm just asking.
so
Eric?
I wasn't here during that time.
Okay, did we make, did we, as June 30th, 2025, was senior luncheon over budget?
I think so.
Okay, with the offsetting funding out of the L account? Let's
I don't
talk
know.
about that at our next meeting.
I don't know off the top of my head.
And then 2, not only offsetting from there, but the money was also with trips and programs would have, because usually within the budget, if one department overextends on a certain line, but underspends on another, that just gets moved, but it's all within, and this, the senior trips, programs, and luncheon is reported under a separate department that's separate from the community center budget, so.
Well, it'll help the Board of Finance.
Right.
She's writing down.
She's
information.
writing
We're gonna write down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will say this, what was is not what is.
Right.
And so we are generating a whole lot more programs, we are generating a whole lot more, trips and, luncheons as well.
Have you had a
And so-
decrease in the lunch count?
No,
Okay. All right.
in people coming in, no, it ranges 25 to 30, sometimes 35. Yeah. And so I think that it's fair to say that, we do have a larger budget than last year for luncheons.
Right.
We are spending that, we do have to be careful. What we would like to see is the kitchen fixed so that we can, decrease those, and it would be great to not charge anything. And I think that once that gets
I'm sorry.
completed,
You didn't say that.
no, I did.
Well, I agree with you.
I'm sorry, Julie.
That was where I was going through. We have 12,000 in the senior lunch program, why are we charging our seniors? We have that's
Because-
a lot of,
Well,
I agree,
Yeah,
okay,
well, let me
but
just
you're
say
doing
this, so
2 a
Carol,
month.
listen, I think part of it is too, we were spending $570 for one luncheon on a Friday. That's not sustainable to
Listen,
have that.
I'm
It's
sorry,
not.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm seniors, I'm not a negative person. But if you're getting lunch, you gotta pay for it. I mean, I would love to do it for free, and I know if you didn't get a drop off by moving from 5 to 7 to 10, the seniors are coming for the level of community. as much for the food.
And the fellowship.
And the fellowship, yeah, right? So you've got to charge, because if you don't charge, we will have a difficult time increasing hours, right? So all of this information that you're bringing to us now, and I'm assuming the seniors would support more hours if they have to put a little bit of money into the lunch program or a little bit money into another program, to have more hours and more staffing here. Am I wrong? Right?
And I think
Julie, am I wrong? Are you gonna agree with me?
You're not wrong.
That is
I'll
a
tell you
first.
how they do it in the other senior centers that are well established. They don't have a general lunch like we do here. They have a kitchen staff. And 3 or 4 days a week, they put out a menu. In a program like this, they have a kitchen menu, and you have to sign up by 8 o'clock the day before you want to go. I was gonna take Kalina so she could see it, but I missed the deadline and we've been too busy coming here.
Okay.
So anyway, it's a separate entity, and they don't charge $5. They charge, I don't know whether it's $12.95 or $15 for lunch.
Well, we have to ask ourselves, from my standpoint, food and senior lunches are, if the senior needs assistance and they need the meal, I have no problem doing it for free. But if it's community and we're trying to bring everybody together and we can offer a high enough quality meal, we've got to charge for it, because if not, then we're just going to the Board of Finance and saying, I need money, and this town is not built that way.
Yep.
This is not built this way.
Right.
So,
Why don't we charge the school kids $12 a meal?
Eric, it's good that you're sitting there, please.
Stay quiet.
Yeah,
So-
Liz,
Hi, so did I understand this right, that, okay, so now the lunch budget is up to $12,000 and we're over budget, is that right?
Not yet.
We are not
We
currently
have to
over
stretch
budget. We are stretching it. We have increased the amount of lunches that we're offering per month, which I think is appropriate considering of how much of an increase the town granted us. We're very happy about it. We brought that price back down to $5, which, some towns charge less, some towns charge more. But one of the goals we had, or that we could agree on, was getting it to at least once a week. Only having 2 or 3 a month. Other senior centers are offering lunch. Some are every day, some are 3 times a week,
Yeah,
and so
like
we should be
like
doing
four-
it at
four.
least once a week. And so that was one of the goals with this big increase, getting the lunch down. For some seniors, 10 was too much, so we brought it back down to $5, and then we added to the schedule to make it more regular, and now it's every single Wednesday.
Okay, so now it's once a week, so the reason, I was trying to understand why with a $12,000 budget, which is higher than it used to be, why is it so close? And you're saying you've increased the frequency of the lunches, right?
Yes, and we're
So it
not
used to be-
necessarily over budget this year. Where we went over budget was the last fiscal year. And so
June 20th,
the June, so that we did technically go over lunches then.
Yeah, but I
However,
wanna know-
we were under on transportation.
one second.
Yep.
I wanna know how much they've collected to offset that overspend. And because I'm not sure that it's getting reported to us that way.
Right.
Like, I sit there and we have to identify the lines on the budget that have revenue associated with them. And we have to get a better job of that done, so that when we see those line items, Eric, and we know we have some revenue to offset that, so if there's a negative on the budget line items, I know there's revenue to offset that. And if we can get that, and we can put that together, it's
So-
beneficial. Now Haley, keep going, sorry.
Can I just ask one thing, and I'm sorry to interrupt Haley, but for the lunches, I know that when Kathy did them, it was twice a month. She did 2 Fridays a month. Now, I know you've switched it to Wednesdays, So 2 of the Wednesdays are hot lunches, if I understand this correctly. And the other 2 is when you have card games and maybe sandwiches and light snacks, is that correct? So it's not really a full lunch?
It's what
The
I
other
would
2
call
Wednesdays.
a cold lunch. And so we
Okay.
do, it's with bingo is the game, so now because we had a request for increased bingo as well, so the 2 cold lunch days,
2 to 3.
2 to 3, depending if there's a 5th Wednesday
Right.
of the month.
Okay.
We do bingo and we have sandwiches, and the sandwiches are served with fruit, salad, chips, and dessert. So what I would argue is a, nice full lunch.
A normal lunch.
And
Yes.
Is that free for the seniors? I know they pay
No.
for bingo cards.
It is
$5.
also $5.
It's $5, does
And
that
they-
include their bingo card?
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
Okay, so, all right.
And
And
so
normally the bingo cards are a couple dollars, $2
I think we were
before?
charging $1 before per bingo
$1.
card. And
Okay.
so they get 2 bingo cards with their $5 ticket for lunch.
Okay.
And it's just a cold lunch, not a hot lunch.
Can I just ask a question? Regarding that, I work for the NCAAA at volunteer, and I'm the vice president of our advisory. And we have money for lunches, and if you want to apply for that grant, I know that you will be able to do so because we've never had it for annual. This would be the year we get it for annual, if you wish. And you can ask how many days, if you wanted 1 day, 2 days, 3, whatever days you wanted, if you want to do your little lunch, you still have your hot lunches on Wednesdays. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So I will say this, we do partner with Cheney Tech. Cheney Tech, when they come, they have a full meal. And so, because it would be extra for salad, we can provide salad for everybody that comes, 30 people, for under $20, right, Kim? And so we can provide salad $20. I'm sure it would be much more expensive if we have them do it. They provide the hot lunch, bread, rolls, condiments. They provide the meal itself and dessert, and it's not just cookies. It is a dessert. I can't eat it, but it looks really good. Anyways, so I will say this: it costs about $300 to $400 for that. So $5, Liz, $5. Everybody comes, right? And then everything it's discounted to $5, and then the senior center with that $12,500 puts in the extra. And so is it for free? No, but it is at least coming back somewhat.
Right.
We are getting some revenue towards that, so it will offset it.
Those are really good details to have to present
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
the time comes.
Can I just ask one other thing too? I know that CRT does a lot of the meals for surrounding, like Columbia has 3 days a week, they charge $3, and they have a lot of really nice meals there. They do hire someone to come in to take those meals, put them together.
CRT.
CRT.
What is that?
Community Renewal Team.
Okay, thank you.
So they hire someone, as a matter of fact, an Andover resident, to go in there and prepare that and serve, and I'm sure they buy extra stuff like the fruit and things like that, just to supplement these meals. But I know they're really cheap to buy. I know it's CRT, and there's one other one that provides these same meals too, so.
Those are terrible meals. You tried it.
I'm telling you,
I'm
Columbia.
telling you, I tried it in Columbia, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
go back there.
Wow, they had a lot of people when I was there.
Well, they do, because there's a
But
lot of
it
people.
sounds like a good resource.
Okay.
Yeah. Manchester.
It
Well,
does? Okay.
listen.
I mean, they were, people they were loaded on.
Listen, I will, we're only gonna go 15 minutes longer, so it's 2 hours. and I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
It'll be 2 hours. Julia took up a quarter of our time.
Thank you, Julia.
She always does. I would like to recommend that we do this quarterly,
Thank you.
Good idea.
all right? And we invite more seniors in, and, the more seniors, the better. It's more of an open discussion as to what can be done better and how it can be done better. So we should do this quarterly. We should get Liz, as many members of the Board of Finance as we possibly can get to show up if they are free. Because I do think it's good that we all hear the same,
You're right,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
It's better to hear the same stuff than,
Jeff, not only seniors, but I think you should get some of the younger community people, because this is a community/senior center.
Absolutely.
And you see what they want.
It is, but we have to build in small steps, right? Right.
But
We've
find
got
out
to-
what they
We've
want.
got to get our, listen, the seniors
We did have the survey too.
love surveys. The seniors have never been treated properly within the town of Andover as long as I've been involved. Forever, really. I mean, I don't think, we had the resources. Now we have a building that has resources. Let's work the seniors as hard as we can. And then the parents in the school, all of that. I really think that you're working with the superintendent and doing some of those programs is really positive. I think it can only benefit how this building is interacted with, right? So I am 100% in favor of that. And I know Ann's been waiting, and she's got to say something.
I'm in favor of that also, too.
I think that a lot of the community stuff, we talked about the AS school, we talked about the seniors. I think the teens are a good group, and they would love to have a place to be in the evening. And that's when the seniors aren't here. So it would be a great thing to have, even a drop-in the lounge area or something else. I know my daughter used the West Hartford Teen Center, which was in their library, because they had a big library. But that kind of thing would really be great to open up. You can get hooked up with a few of the teens, and then they'd probably spread the word, or they might be able to be a resource as to what they're looking for.
If you get an appropriate volunteer to run the program.
Correct.
Of
Because
course.
it is hours. So
Right.
it is invested hours on our end to get it going and then pass the baton. So
Right.
Yeah.
working ourselves out of it that way. Absolutely. Yeah.
That could be done upstairs even before the basement's finished.
I would, I'm going to recommend that the information that be provided back for our next meeting, because I am, we're not gonna be able to make any decisions of consequence today. All right? So, just letting everybody know, and I'm sorry the present is staying wrapped for too long. You know?
You've torn it over everybody else.
Yeah.
That's
All
important.
right?
I'm glad you like my metaphor.
So Jeff, thank you. I think that this whole thing was a catalyst for change, and I am excited about what's to come. I'm excited about the future for Andover Community and Senior Center and a working relationship with the Board of Selectmen.
Okay. We only have 10 minutes left, so Julie, you have 1 minute. 1 minute. But I'm not even starting to get cleaner.
Well, I enjoyed the meeting. I'm glad to hear everything that was discussed. We do need extra help for these young ladies because we all work, so we know how it is when you have to put extra work in minimum time. But all the programs that are coming, that I've noticed, especially from the time I joined it last year, it's tremendous,
All right, thank you.
tremendous.
Julie.
It grew more than 100%.
I enjoyed the various activities too. And I particularly like the fact that somebody who can't drive can come here to get a haircut, get a pedicure, and a neck massage. You're gonna pay the same price that's charged here out at Evergreen Walk or some public storefront. And you don't have to travel. To be able to get those in town for people who can't drive is really exceptionally good.
Thank you, Kathy.
10 seconds.
No,
I really
Julia
appreciate
can take
that. I really appreciate you allowing me to speak extra, and I'm happy that all the points have been raised and absorbed and addressed. Thank you.
Kathy Velocity.
You're on.
I know, I'm thinking. No, I seriously think this has been a very informative meeting.
Yeah.
I actually like what Tess and Haley have said. I appreciate the senior speaking and the Board of Selectmen taking their time to listen. But I would like to see this all happen. Again, I'm saying we need money to make this happen.
And it's a long, slow.
Yes,
Well,
and one other quick thing.
I see you hoarding it on here.
One other quick thing I want to just have us say is the fact that we can do this. Seriously, we can do this. I know that we can make it happen. I know we can do it, Jeff.
Diane.
Okay, I agree with what everybody has said. Kathy says we need funding. Yes, we do. Money is always whatever, but we also need the volunteers. I think the community needs to step up. I know all the boards and commissions in town are all volunteers. We do have a lot of volunteers in town, but there's a lot of people in town that don't volunteer. And all we need is people to do one little piece, you know, they don't have to do a lot, just some little piece to volunteer, and I think that would be very helpful. And I'm looking forward to the day that you do have the basement finished, and I think that would be a great place for the teenagers, place for them to hang out. So I think getting the basement done is, I know it's on your list, and that'll be a great day. And I wish you had a piano here also.
Liz.
We're working on it.
I love the piano idea. I really appreciate hearing everybody's ideas, appreciate seeing the vision and where it wants to go, and looking forward to working together with Board of Selectmen and our board, see how we can help. And I also would like to somehow encourage more volunteerism, because a lot of the stuff could be done if some people would step up and just give a couple hours here and there.
Kim,
I have one more other
Wait, no.
Oh.
Kim who volunteers all kinds of time.
Yes, Kim.
I've enjoyed volunteering down here. We have a lot of fun, but I've also enjoyed watching Tess and Haley work together. There's a lot of new things they've incorporated down here, and I'd just like to see that continue.
That's right.
Elaine,
I'm good.
you're good? Diane, you get 10 seconds, go.
I think when you're counting 10 hours for the transportation, I think when you talk to Linda, you're gonna find out she really puts in way more than 10 hours.
And
So-
that's not doing everything that needs to be done.
Can I have 10 more seconds? No. I thought of a really good idea. When the library needs things that are not in the budget, they have the Andover Friends of the Library group. And those members, and Diane's very familiar with it, help us get new video, computers, whatever we need. So that's a possible group that we might have emerge here in Andover for the Andover Friends of the Senior Community Center.
Joe.
I think the senior center has done tremendous for the first year. And I hope it gets supported for next year. I want to build on what you've done already,
Did you hear us all?
pretty much.
Good.
Everybody say that.
I'll have to tell you, Eric, I am really impressed with the sound dead.
It's really
I mean, this is so much better than that building over there.
You know, yeah, it's better than it was without the Saturday.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric, you get the last word. What do you
You're
want
gonna
to
miss
say?
us when you're gone.
And be nice to us, will you?
I think the town spends $8.5 million a year on the under 19 segment. It can open up its wallet a little bit for the over 65 segment. It's, since they're the ones that are the taxpayers.
Yeah.
So I think given, out of a sense of fairness, the two most vulnerable communities in the town are youth and seniors. We obviously spend a disproportionately higher amount on youth, but education is very expensive. In the grand scheme of things, we can afford the additional programming funds for these seniors. Okay.
We said.
He is
You get
100%,
that?
he is 100% correct, but listen, this is a global thing. This is a global thing. local taxes are disproportionately spent on younger citizens, and federal taxes are disproportionately spent on senior citizens. Please, it all needs to get done. We all need to work together to do what's right for the seniors and for this building. But that's the reality of what we deal with in our world. And I really don't want a huge argument to go from that standpoint, that we need to do a better job for the seniors. That is absolute, it's been that way since I joined the board, back when Julia was on. And, you know, we've got to do a better job. So Eric, I appreciate that, but I also want everybody to know, it's just the way the system is built. Right? Just the way the system is built, and we need to understand that. And the seniors deserve more, and the children deserve the best possible education we can give.
So, in closing, I would like to.
You're gonna finish this?
No, well, in my.
Go ahead, Tess.
I would like to make a request to keep Haley on as a employed by the town. As we can agree on the title, but at least 19 hours to 30 hours.
Okay.
That's my request.
By the next meeting, that will be dealt with, okay? I'm telling you right now, I can't sit there and deal with it tonight and today, but I promise that by our next meeting, there will be a public vote on it, okay? You understand where I'm coming from. There will be a public vote on that at our next meeting on November 10th. And I'll deal with the Board of Finance as to where the money's coming.
You know what? Good luck. I'm retired. I'll find some fun.
Anything else? Okay, did I miss anybody in public speak? Does anybody want to say anything else? All right, good. I make a motion to adjourn. Not seconded. All in favor?